Breaking news. Massive updates just dropped from Las Vegas and Raider Nation. This could change everything. The future of the silver and black is on the line, and what's happening right now might surprise you. You don't want to miss this. But before we jump into these big stories, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and smash that bell icon so you never miss a single piece of breaking Raiders news. Let's dive in. Let's start with the question every Raiders fan is asking right now. Will Brock Bowers be a Raider for life? After the incredible rookie season he just had, the answer should be simple, yes. Brock Bowers is not just another talented player. He's the kind of leader and difference maker you build a franchise around. His work ethic, his attitude, and his impact on the field are exactly what the Raiders need to push this team to the next level. Bowers is the type of player who can define an era. Unless some team offers a completely outrageous trade, like multiple first-round picks, the Raiders must keep him in silver and black for life. Raider Nation deserves that level of loyalty and greatness. But Bowers isn't the only reason to get excited. The next big question, who are Raiders fans most excited to watch this season? All eyes are on Geno Smith. After years of instability at the quarterback position, fans are desperate for someone to step up and take control. This season is Geno's chance to prove he can lead this offense and bring stability to the most important role on the team. On the defensive side, Christian Wilkins is the player to watch. His presence on the defensive line could completely transform how the Raiders attack and shut down opposing offenses. And don't overlook the rising young talents. Dante Thornton Jr., Trey Tucker, and Ashton Genty. These players bring speed, energy, and a new spark that could make a real difference this year. Quick reminder, if you're a true part of Raider Nation and you want every breaking update the moment it happens, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like this video right now, and hit that bell icon. We're here to keep you in the know. Let's move on to the next breaking update coming straight out of Las Vegas. The wide receiver room in Las Vegas is starting to get very interesting. Jakobi Meyers has always been a reliable option, the type of player you can count on to make solid plays and consistently move the chains. He's the kind of receiver who can give you 75 to 80 catches, around 1,000 yards, and 6 or 7 touchdowns in a season. He's productive and dependable. But here's something to watch closely. The Raiders haven't extended Jakobi Meyers yet. Why? It could mean they're quietly confident in another rising star, Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker is entering a critical year, and for many young receivers, that third season is where everything clicks. He's fast, explosive, and could be ready to take that next big step. It's possible the Raiders are seeing something behind the scenes that we don't fully know yet. And then there's Dante Thornton Jr., a player many fans are already excited about. But don't sleep on Trey Tucker. He could become one of the most underrated weapons on this Raiders offense. The more you watch him, the more you realize he might surprise a lot of people this season. If the Raiders could have any player in the NFL, right? There's only one answer, Patrick Mahomes. Some fans might not like hearing that, but the reality is Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. When the game is on the line, when the moment is big, you simply don't want to be facing him. That's what makes him special. Imagine if Mahomes was wearing silver and black. The entire AFC West would flip overnight. The Raiders would instantly become favorites to win the division and serious Super Bowl contenders. And finally, let's talk about the safety position. How confident should Raiders fans be in Paul Lau starting at free safety? Right now, confidence is about a 5 out of 10. It could go either way. He has potential, but this is a position where the Raiders will need to see strong, consistent performance early in the season to feel fully secure. There's a lot to prove, and Raider Nation will be watching closely. When we talk about depth on this Raiders defense, one name that keeps coming up is Paul Lau. As a third safety, Paul could be a real strength. In that role, his versatility shines. He can play close to the line of scrimmage, drop into coverage when needed, and even line up like a linebacker. That flexibility is valuable. But as a full-time starting free safety, that's where the confidence drops. Right now, it feels like a coin toss whether he can consistently hold down that spot. His coverage skills are still developing, and with the level of competition in the AFC West, that's a concern the Raiders cannot afford to overlook. There's growing belief that the Raiders might be looking to bring in additional help at safety, possibly targeting a proven veteran to stabilize the back end of the defense. The team knows it needs to tighten up in the secondary to compete at the highest level. Now, stepping away from the depth chart for a moment, there's something even bigger to recognize. We have to take time to honor the brave men and women who have served and sacrificed for the freedoms we enjoy today. Raider Nation knows how to support its own, and that includes showing respect to all service members who defended this country. Their courage is why we can enjoy these moments, these games, and this incredible community. So, from the heart of Raider Nation, thank you. And before we move on, let's make it a little interactive. Drop your favorite 4th of July food in the comments. Whether it's burgers, ribs, hot dogs, or something unique, let's see what Raider Nation is cooking this summer. Let's get back to the latest Raiders news. When we talk about building a winning football team, some players simply carry more weight than others. For the Las Vegas Raiders, these are the 5 most critical players heading into the season. 1. Geno Smith, the quarterback. The success of the Raiders' offense begins and ends with Geno Smith. His leadership, decision-making, and ability to protect the football will directly shape the team's future this year. 2. Max Crosby, the defensive heartbeat. There's no question Max Crosby is the soul of this defense. His relentless motor, passion, and game-changing ability make him the most important player on the defensive side of the ball. 3. Brock Bowers, the offensive X-factor. Bowers is not just another tight end. He's a potential superstar who can redefine this offense with his versatility, explosiveness, and ability to create mismatches all over the field. 4. Jackson Powers Johnson, the anchor of the offensive line. Center is one of the most underappreciated positions in football. Jackson Powers Johnson will play a massive role in keeping Geno Smith protected and this offense balanced. 5. Christian Wilkins, the defensive game changer. If Christian Wilkins is healthy and firing on all cylinders, he can completely elevate this defense. His presence in the trenches will be crucial in stopping the run and collapsing the pocket. Now let's address something that's been floating around Raider Nation. Some are asking, is Jack Beck becoming a non-factor? Here's the reality, it's not that Beck isn't talented. It's that Trey Tucker is starting to emerge as the player everyone hoped he would become. He's been electric in camp, and he's outplaying expectations. Add to that the rise of Dante Thornton Jr., who's been making serious noise with his athleticism and playmaking ability. This situation feels similar to when the Raiders drafted Max Crosby. Back then, the focus was on other players, but it was clear early that Crosby was different. He forced his way onto the field with effort, talent, and consistency. Right now, it's not about Jack Beck struggling, it's about other players stepping up and outshining the competition. And with someone like Pete Carroll in charge, we know one thing: the best players will play. Jack Beck still has a role, especially in tight end heavy formations, but the Raiders may have found something special in Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton Jr. The battle for roster spots is far from over, but one thing is clear: this team is starting to look a lot faster, sharper, and more competitive. One of the most exciting possibilities for the Las Vegas Raiders this season is their potential to create some of the most unpredictable and versatile offensive formations in the NFL. Imagine this: Michael Mayer, Jack Beck, and Brock Bowers on the field at the same time. This type of setup could completely confuse defenses. Why? Because all 3 of these players can block, all 3 can catch, and all 3 can shift positions on the fly. You could start in a heavy formation, giving the look of a power run, then suddenly motion Brock Bowers out wide, line up Jack Beck in the slot, and completely stretch the defense vertically. The creativity that Chip Kelly could bring to this group is what makes this so dangerous. Jack Beck may not always put up big stats, but his versatility is exactly what the Raiders need in these complex offensive packages. His ability to block like a tight end and move like a wide receiver gives the Raiders serious flexibility in both the passing and running game. Now let's talk about what's next for the Raiders. What's the next big move? There's a lot of speculation, but here's what Raider Nation is watching closely. The hope is that the Raiders will soon sign a proven veteran safety like Justin Simmons or Julian Blackmon. Both could instantly upgrade the secondary and bring much-needed stability on the back end of the defense. Another name that's been floating around is Jadeveon Clowney. Adding another physical edge rusher would help relieve some pressure off Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins, especially if Wilkins does need additional time to fully recover. Speaking of Christian Wilkins, the fan base deserves clarity. There are strong reports suggesting that Wilkins might need a second procedure, but Raiders fans want official confirmation. When your star defensive tackle might miss time, it's not just a minor detail, it's something the entire fan base should know. Finally, an interesting scenario is building around Trey Tucker. Could the Raiders extend him soon, or is there a chance he might be traded by the deadline? Right now, the smart money says the Raiders are watching his development closely. If he continues to perform, an extension feels more likely. But if other receivers keep stepping up, the team could explore trade options to maximize his value. No matter what happens, one thing is clear: the Las Vegas Raiders are moving with purpose, building a faster, tougher, and more versatile team. Let's keep it real. When it comes to Trey Tucker's future with the Raiders, I'm starting to believe a trade is more likely than an extension, and here's why. Tucker still has plenty of time left on his rookie deal. He's entering his third season, which means the Raiders aren't under pressure to extend him right away. Unless he completely explodes with a 1,200-yard season, which would change the conversation, the more realistic path might involve him being moved if other players outshine him. If Tucker finishes with around 700 receiving yards this season, that's a solid year based on his expected role. But when you factor in the rise of Dante Thornton Jr., the potential of Jack Beck, and even dark horse names like Tommy Mellott, Tucker may find himself in a crowded receiver room where touches are harder to come by. I asked Raider Nation this question. Trey Tucker had 81 targets last season. Will he have more or less in 2025? For me, I'm leaning toward less. Not because I doubt Tucker's ability, but because this Raiders offense is simply adding more weapons. Jakobi Meyers, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and Gentry are all going to command significant attention in the passing game. And when you combine that with the team's clear desire to focus on the run, there just may not be enough targets to go around. But here's where things get interesting. Could the Raiders package Tucker in a trade for a top-tier wide receiver like Terry McLaurin? Honestly, I don't think Tucker and a second-round pick would be enough to land a player of McLaurin's caliber. If Washington were even open to trading McLaurin, I'd expect the price to be much higher, probably involving Jakobi Meyers or even multiple premium picks. McLaurin isn't just a solid receiver, he's vital for Jaden Daniels' growth and development in Washington. That's a long-term investment they may not be willing to part with. Bottom line, Trey Tucker still has value, but the most likely scenario might involve the Raiders using that value as part of a bigger move down the road, especially if their younger receivers continue to flash. Speaking of that, make sure you tune in this Monday for our Week 15 Madden Sim. The Madden games have been absolutely electric. Don't miss your chance to be part of the live chat, get your questions answered, and experience all the drama as we run through the season. Raider Nation, we'll see you there.